Hello everyone and welcome. I'm Oriel Morrison-Higgins and I'm here today with Keith Bowers, the Managing Director of Future Metals. Keith, great to have you with us today. Welcome.
Oh, thanks very much. It's nice to be back again.
Now, Keith, you've just started your updated scoping study for Panton. Can you give us a little bit of an update on that?
Sure. So we're just commencing that, as you've said, but I think what's important to note is that the company over the last 4 to 5 months has put a lot of time and effort into going back to the historical data, understanding what the strategy is and what the opportunities are for us going forward. And really what the scoping study is going to do is it's going to take, first of all, the new mineral resource estimate that we announced to the market about 4 or 5 weeks ago. That's going to be the basis for this new scoping study going forward. We also released last week the update or an update to our strategic review. So I think as some of our viewers will know, Panton's been around for probably 20 odd years or something like that. Back in the early 2000s, there was feasibility studies done on the project and all those types of things. We've got consultants in and ourselves, and we've gone through all of that historical data. We've identified some further optimization opportunities. We've identified some slightly different processing opportunities that we think we can go down as well. So using the new mineral resource estimate, and also taking into account the work we did earlier this year, where we did an engineering assessment of the Savannah plant, which demonstrated to us that we can relatively cheaply upgrade and modify that plant to become a PGM concentrator. All of that has now been wrapped up in the scoping study. And of course, we're going to be using the new pricing as well. PGM prices have gone up quite a bit since the scoping or the original scoping study was done back in 2023.
Oh, quite a bit. Yeah, absolutely. Significantly higher platinum prices are since you did your last study. What does that do to the economics?
I think if you go back and you have a look at our 2023 scoping study, they define what they call the basket price. So that's the price that we receive for the PGMs contained within our nickel concentrate of around $1,500 per ounce. Now, PGM prices, as we've said, have gone up significantly since then. In fact, in January and February of this year, they were well above even where they are today. We're talking $2,300 per ounce just for platinum. They have come down since January, but even if we were to run that calculation again today with the current platinum price of around $1,600 an ounce, palladium sitting around $1,100, $1,200 per ounce, we still end up with a basket price of between $2,200 and $2,300 per ounce. So that's a 40 to 50% increase over what we had back in 2023. And as anybody who's running a mining project knows, that any additional revenue stream coming in from pricing effectively goes straight down to the bottom line as additional revenue. So we would see a significant uplift in our revenue stream coming from these new prices.
So great news there, Keith. Now let's go back to your strategic review for a moment. You're looking at two pathways here, either building your own plant or using the Savannah facility. Pros and cons, are you leaning towards one more than the other at this early stage?
The way we've been talking about this project for a while now has been around the Savannah opportunity. I think the alternative strategy of using Savannah has a lot of advantages for us, but we will make sure that when we do the scoping study, so we can actually show to the market, show to our shareholders what the benefit of that is, we will be doing both concepts. So we will update the original greenfield concept, and we will put that next to what the Savannah option looks like. Our expectations based on the work we've done so far is that going down the Savannah route, we're going to get two benefits. We're going to get a reduced upfront capital requirement, and we're also going to be able to get an accelerated timeline to first production as well. Because as you'll know, Savannah is an existing plant. It already has all the access. It has the camp. It has a tailings dam. It has a power station. Workshops and offices and all that kind of stuff are already in place. And it has its operating permits in place as well. So it does look like a much quicker option for us to go down that route as well.
Absolutely. Now, you've got a lot going on, Keith, and a lot coming up, I should say, with this scoping study in the next few months. Can you give us a sense of when we're going to be chatting to you again? What is the news flow that investors can expect from here on out?
I think we're going to do a very, very short and sharp, punchy scoping study as our plan at the moment. I mean, with the work that we've already done around the MRE, the strategic review that not only looked at the processing side of it, but also at the mining side of it, as well as the Savannah engineering assessment, has set us up really well to launch very, very quickly into the scoping study. And our expectation is we'll be able to complete the scoping study in 3 to 4 months. So you would expect to hear outcomes from that study October, November this year. But I certainly think this is an opportunity for us to provide to the market some interim results. One of the things we are doing is some more test work. There's a couple of ideas we've got that we want to go to the lab and test those. And certainly the results of those would be reportable, and we'll be coming back to the market and talking about that as well. From the mining side as well, I think there's going to be some interesting things that we'll be able to talk about at a high level when those results come out as well.
Oh, so lots coming out, lots to look forward to there, Keith. Keeping us hanging. Good to see. Thank you so much for your time today. Thanks for joining us.
No, thanks very much, Ariel. It was good seeing you again, as I said.